Thinking about moving to Silicon Valley? This might be the video that helps you decide. I'm a Bay Area native, one of the very few. Built my career here, both in tech and in real estate, and I'm still here by choice. Now, there's no question this place can be intense, especially if you come from another area. But when you understand what makes it special, you realize why so many people still choose to build their lives right here in the heart of the tech innovation capital of the world. I'm Spencer Su, and I've helped more than 350 families buy, sell, and relocate right here in Silicon Valley. So if you're thinking about making the move, make sure to subscribe because this channel is all about helping you understand what life here is really like. There's nowhere else on earth where the odds of building something big are higher than right here in Silicon Valley ever. The velocity of opportunity is unlike anything you'll experience anywhere else. I've seen clients in their 20s already sitting on multi-million-dollar asset portfolios, not because they got lucky, but because the ecosystem rewards ideas, risk, and execution like nowhere else. It rewards merit. So whether you're working on a startup, investing, or climbing that tech ladder, the level of ambition here pushes you to think bigger, move faster, and surround yourself with people who are literally building the future. Living in Silicon Valley feels like stepping into a place where energy and ambition never turn off. But it's at the same time balanced by sunshine, community, and a lifestyle that you cannot find anywhere else. This isn't just a tech hub, it is home. Now, each city has its own rhythm. In Palo Alto, mornings start with potentially joggers running through Stanford University, grabbing coffee at Blue Bottle before heading to work at a company or a startup nearby. In Mountain View, you'll find families biking down Castro Street, people walking their dogs through Shoreline Park, and engineers from Google or nearby companies mixing together at the cafeterias. Cupertino hums with the quiet focus of families who came here for the top schools. You're going to see a lot of active parents volunteering at high schools and kids schools, and plenty of them being a very high-end Uber driver for their kids by taking them to tennis lessons and tutoring classes. If you wanted a mix of luxury suburban calm, Los Gatos and Saratoga offer those tree-lined streets, boutique cafes, and some of the most beautiful hiking trails in the South Bay. And down in San Jose, neighborhoods like Willow Glen, Almaden Valley still have that small town feel with local farmers markets, crafts fairs, and parks where families gather every single weekend. As you can see, what makes Silicon Valley so unique is how active everyone is and how easy you can live an outdoor lifestyle year-round. So whether it's early morning runs along the Los Gatos Creek Trail, weekend hikes at Rancho San Antonio, or golf at Cinnabar Hills or at the Baylands, people here love to move. Pickleball courts are packed. Cyclists ride up to Skyline Boulevard every weekend, and you're going to see people enjoying the outdoors for well over probably 280 plus sunny days a year. The weather almost never slows you down. And at the same time, there's this underlying sense of drive everyone you meet is building, creating, or striving for something. Your neighbor could be a startup founder, a Stanford reacher, an investor, or someone working at a big tech company and doing very, very well. That level of ambition naturally pushes you to level up too, because you're surrounded by people who dream big, who still take time to enjoy life. Whether it's grabbing a glass of wine in downtown Los Gatos, catching a concert at the Shoreline Amphitheater, or spending the weekend in Santa Cruz, which is only 8 hours away. As you can see, it's a rare balance of innovation and lifestyle where world-changing ideas are born just a few blocks away from hiking trails and vineyards. As you can see, this combination, this risk capital, that's what makes Silicon Valley such a special place to be. Now, one of the other things that I truly admire about being here in the Bay Area, and it's continued to be this way, is the diversity. Not specifically careers or backgrounds, but in the way people live, celebrate, and connect. Walk down any main street here, and you're going to hear multiple languages in a single block. English, Mandarin, Hindi, Spanish, Vietnamese, Farsi, Russian. All of those are what makes this place so magical. That ability to be open-minded and globally connected with people with experiences all around the world shows why this is such a wonderful place. Because according to the census data, no single ethnic group makes up a majority in Silicon Valley. Roughly 38% of residents are Asian, 1/3 are white, around a quarter Hispanic or Latino. It's one of the most multicultural regions in the US, and you feel that every day, from the schools to the restaurants to the festivals that happen all year long. Now, of course, certain cities will be more concentrated, but as a general whole, which is, Silicon Valley is a very big place, it's a lot more mixed. To give you an idea, in Cupertino, the Diwali Festival of Lights draws thousands of families each fall. You got food stalls, dance performances, and light displays at Memorial Park. I recently went to a client's home, and they had fantastic dosas, panipuris, and a catering banquet of a lot of delicious dishes. In Mountain View, the Obon Festival celebrates Japanese heritage with taiko drumming and street food. San Jose hosts some of Northern California's largest Lunar New Year celebrations at History Park or at Little Saigon in South San Jose. And the Mexican Heritage Project on the east side keeps traditional music, dance, and art alive year-round. And of course, food is a massive part of the culture here. Think about it. You could grab dim sum and milpitas, enjoy Michelin star Indian cuisine in Sunnyvale, explore authentic taquerias in East San Jose, find world-class Persian and Mediterranean restaurants in Santa Clara, farmers markets with fresh local produce and handmade foods every single weekend, whether it's Los Altos to Palo Alto. This cultural mix is more than just surface level. It's what makes Silicon Valley work. People come here from every continent with the same dream to build a better life, innovate, to create something lasting. That shared purpose makes this community unusually open and collaborative. And that's why I love helping people with every single week settle down here or welcoming them here. Because you're going to meet people who grew up in completely different parts of the world, but now they call the same neighborhood home. So if you're thinking of moving here, don't just expect a tech hub, because the media can easily just say that. Expect the world within a small geography. Now, when it comes to the economy though, this is the epicenter of global innovation. Think about all the things that are happening. AI, biotech, robotics, semiconductors, software engineering. It's all happening right here. Many of the world's leading tech companies maintain their major office or headquarters here for a reason. Think about Apple, Google, Meta, Nvidia. Even if their headquarters were not here, like at Amazon, Microsoft, they have massive campuses here. Even Tesla, when they moved their corporate headquarters to Austin, their engineering talent is all still here in Palo Alto. But beyond tech, there's also thousands, maybe tens of thousands of startups, venture funds, and entrepreneurs creating new opportunities every single day, which makes it super exciting as they could be the next big thing. Now, with all those things happening, let me show you how some recent mega deals are reshaping everything and why that matters for jobs, housing, and you personally. Consider this throughout the years. Nvidia is making so many deals, and so is OpenAI. With all these partnerships, Nvidia will invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. Their letter of intent commits to deploying at least 10 gigawatts of new AI computing infrastructure, millions of GPUs by the second half of 2026. Massive chip leasing agreement, one of the largest in tech history. Then there's AMD, who signed a deal to deploy about 6 gigawatts of AMD chips starting in 2026. But you also see a lot of other opportunities where Nvidia, OpenAI, they're investing in other ventures and growing that ecosystem, because right now there is no dark GPUs. We cannot grow fast enough because there's so many additional things that can be done if there was more compute power. Because what this means for Silicon Valley today though is tech isn't slowing down. It's accelerating, as you can see. You see all these huge announcements happening virtually every single week. It's crazy, right? Because these infrastructure investments are going to trigger enormous demand for design engineers, data center tech, power and thermal engineers, cybersecurity experts, AI research talent. This is why Jensen said that the next massive group of millionaires are going to be electricians and plumbers, because of all that need and low amount of labor force to be able to do such things. While there's going to be continued layoffs in the white collar roles, a lot of them have to kind of rethink. Are they able to apply their skills in another capacity? Do they retool themselves? Because there's going to be a lot of other opportunities that's going to be created at massive scales. Now, for those that are still working, which many of them are, you can see the stock market is at record highs. Those equity and big outcomes and influence are there. There's still a significant amount of opportunity. Like, I have a lot of clients that work at these big tech companies, and while the life and the job is tough, they're getting paid more than ever, and they're able to do much more production more than ever with the use of AI and these assistant tools, whether it's Cursor or all these different chat type of platforms. Now, with all this AI infrastructure, the job market will be rocky. You're gonna have a lot of companies still growing and hiring at an incredible pace, while you have a lot of other people that may be left behind. But then again, if this is happening here in the Bay Area, you can imagine how it will proliferate with the rest of the country, if not the world, down the road. So it's still best to be in the center of things and to try to be an influence or be at one of those companies that are reshaping the entire world and the economy. Now, we talked about jobs, growth, and opportunity. Let's talk about family. Is Silicon Valley family friendly? Because if you're raising a family or thinking long term, education is one of the biggest reasons people choose to stay in Silicon Valley. While the cost of living is obviously higher, the schools here aren't just good, they're generally world class, and you have families from all around the world that move here because they know their kids are going to have great access to the public school system, but also a lot of the amazing university school systems that are scattered all throughout the state. Now, if you want to be competing at some of the best, you don't have to look that far from Silicon Valley. Take a look at Limbrook in San Jose, Monte Vista, Palo Alto, Gun High, Mission San Jose. All of these are known to be some of the best. Now, it's very competitive to be there. Pressure for some individuals creates diamonds. And so that's why a lot of people want to be in that ecosystem to encourage their children to be the best that they can be. But if you feel like the public school system, those specific ones are too intense, there's plenty of other great options that are nearby that are not as intense, but still are much well-rounded. Some of these schools have the best extracurricular activities out there, like football and basketball. Now, if you also want to go through private school options in Silicon Valley, there's also a lot of great options. Whether you go to Harker, you go to Bellarmine, you go to Castilleja in Palo Alto, you go to Sacred Heart in Atherton, or Pinewood in Los Altos Hills. There's so many different options where you can have a much tighter community if you choose and have the ability to afford to do so. And of course, let's not forget all of the amazing universities just in the valley itself. Think about Stanford University, Santa Clara University, fantastic, much affordable options like San Jose State, community colleges like De Anza, Foothill, Mission. All of these have fantastic people that if you look at who graduates from these schools, they still get into some of these top talent. So you don't need to go through a world-recognized Harvard or Ivy League school to be able to work out here. Now, I do want to be real here because no one moves to Silicon Valley because it's cheap. They move for the good weather, job opportunities, lifestyle. But the Valley has earned its reputation as one of the most expensive places to live in the country. Don't let that fool you, because while certain areas like a Palo Alto, Atherton, when they're the center of things, those are very premium. Be very careful if you choose to rent out there and want to stay there, because that spread to rent to own will be some of the greatest that you'll find in all of the Bay Area. But maybe already start off with nearby areas, because one, you can save money on rent. Two, they're just as good. Yes, your commute is a little bit longer, but make adjustments. Maybe you go early in the morning or later in the morning and come back. Maybe go do a workout there first before you head back, because you're going to see there's so many good options that range from there. Like, for example, let's say Palo Alto was the home base that you hope to be. Well, if you go across the bridge to like a Newark, Union City, Fremont, you're going to be paying less than half of what you'd be paying in Palo Alto for a much bigger house. Yeah, maybe your commute is 30 minutes longer, but you have the ability to rent for much less, but also own much quicker. Think about if you move to San Jose, same idea, right? A lot of those places in San Jose, you can get it at 1/3 the price of what you pay in Palo Alto. Now, at the end of the day, if you want to go to Palo Alto for tennis, pickleball, lifestyle, you can just easily drive out there. It's 30 minutes. Go get a Tesla, listen to a podcast, and within 30 minutes, you are there. I mean, I drive 30,000 miles a year, so it's clearly very, very doable, and it's actually quite pleasant, especially when you have a sophisticated vehicle. So just keep that in mind. Don't fall into the trap, because a lot of people fall into the trap. They want to be in the best of the best. They rent there, and then if you think about it, if you rent more, you're not going to be able to save as much, but the best of areas have a bigger spread of the rent to own. So you're actually really, really far off unless you happen to have a very big liquidity event or you have a lot of money already, but you're just moving it from out of the area. If you're moving from out of the area, but you don't have that kind of funds and ability, then find something that's a lot more affordable that you can start off with in an area that could work, that you can see a path to ultimately buy into. I can easily help you run the numbers so that we can help forecast, is it something that you wait for a year or can you already get going right now? Now that we talked about affordability, let's talk another reason about one of the biggest perks of living here, which is the location. Think about it. You're an hour from the beaches in Santa Cruz, 4 hours from the beautiful mountains and hills of Lake Tahoe, where you could go skiing and snowboarding. On any weekend, you can easily do plenty of day trips all around, whether it's hiking or wine tasting. Perhaps you want to enjoy playing sports, like I play tennis and pickleball. You can literally do that 300 plus days a year, because most of the time the rents aren't that heavy. So you can literally find all sorts of different things that can work for you. But what's interesting is if you think about we're in the Bay, the climate is completely different. So if you prefer something warmer, live in San Jose, live in the Tri-Valley, live in Walnut Creek area. If you want something cooler, go live in San Francisco or live along the peninsula. The more south in the peninsula you get, the hotter it will be. So the beauty is that you can easily change temperatures just by driving an hour, which is unheard of almost every place in the world. Now, as you can see, this mix of innovation, culture, education, and lifestyle here is something truly unique. If you're considering a move, I'd love to help you find the right fit. Call or text me at 408-217-6557 and let's talk about your goals and what life in Silicon Valley could look like for you. See you then.